Hi everybody, I'm Jack Jinseki, and joining me today is Shirayuki.
Hello, everybody.
So do you have a motion capture thing? Is that how you're doing the arm movements?
No, so I would love to have a motion capture thing. So my all of my arm movements and my movements are all key binded to my keyboard. So, for example, if I press number 6, it will do a thumbs up, and
Okay.
if I press number 9, I will start clapping. There's kind of like a couple different motions that I have. Eventually, I may want to do like motion capture because I would like be able to like show myself off a bit more. Like show my movements a bit more to
Oh yeah.
present myself a lot better. But like for the time being, I'm happy with like what I've got.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the silhouette style because it's sort of like your brain thinks when you see it it's in 3D even though it's 2D.
Yeah,
So what kind of content do you like to make?
yeah. So I make kind of niche content in on my channel. So I don't really like playing the games that are like the most popular. So on my channel, you can find primarily fighting game content. I am a big fighting game lover, along with some teamfight tactics and roguelikes and some trading card games. So they're kind of the avenues that I like exploring. I'm always down to try something new. Uh, this has been something that has been kind of in the woodworks of deciding what content I want to make. It was always going back and forth of do I want to include games such as Marvel Rivals in my content because I'm a big hero shooter fan as well. But overall, the four game genres that I just listed were what I kind of lent on in the end.
Ah, cool. So what made you want to be a VTuber?
Well, this was definitely not the avenue I expected to go down. For some people who may know me, I in 2018, I was a flesh tuber. I was an actual person streaming. I did about two streams. I did Pokemon Yellow randomizer. Four was going really well, and then on the third stream I started, I just couldn't do it anymore. I felt like I was inadequate to do it, so I completely stopped streaming from 2018, and then around 3 years ago, so 2022. I'm one of my friends I made at university. He is a very good animator slash artist, and he we kind of created Shirayuki together. And as a result, this has been the long hard work, sorry, of 3 years, and this is what you see today. But I've always enjoyed VTubers, and I thought, you know what, let's just do it. But one thing that was on my mind when it came to being a VTuber is I wanted to be very unique to a lot of models I've already seen.
It is most certainly a unique style. Like I mentioned, the silhouette thing is really clean looking.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, we kind of wanted to go for that. So a big part of like what Shirayuki represents, it kind of represents like the all of the different versions of the person who is behind Shirayuki, so the person who is speaking right now, and it's like the accumulation of like light and dark, which is why we went with a black and white concept. And so, uh, if you there's lots of little concepts and ideas that we went with, like we wanted to like base it off the yin yang, for example, because just how the yin yang works is it's got balance and chaos and such, and then for people who watch, who see me, I'm an eldritch horror, who was originally human, and that is something that I kind of wanted to incorporate into my design.
So, do you have any more thoughts about what you would call your character's lore?
Yes, so I'm currently working on law. I can give you guys some special information, some very special information about. So it's kind of like a sneak peek of what's to come. So I've already been dabbling with my law in my YouTube videos that I make. Some of my videos have in the description or in the video have like different types of codes that when you decode them lead to a message. And so for my kind of lore that I'm going with, I am doing a analog horror style lore uh, to basically explain the story of how the person became Shirayuki, how he went through all of this and all of this turmoil with like high business companies that caused a lot of grievances to have to run away to find himself on a spaceship that causes a disaster to occur, which results in a viral infection, which is why when you see me on stream on my other model that I don't have on right now,
Hmm.
there'll be like or if you've seen any of my concept arts, there's a glitched face on it. And what the glitched face is representing is two things. It's representing like uh, the fact that you can't see what I look like in real life, but it's also representing the fact that the viral infection from the Eldritch Horrors has affected my face so that people can't see what I look like anymore. So it's a lot of like symbolism, horror, analog horror, Eldritch horror, sci-fi, all compiled into an analog horror series that I'm currently working on. Me and some writers are in the midst of kind of world building a lot of the ideas. And from what I've seen by far, I'm incredibly excited to properly start working on the lore. But that's all I can really say right now about my lore.
Well, so you have like artists working on your character and writers working on the lore. That's really cool. You got a intricate setup going.
Yeah, I mean, I think a part of that is luck. I'm gonna be real.
Hmm.
I was very lucky to be able to find the people who wanted to work on Shirayuki with me. You know, especially my artist. You know, he creates incredible artworks for me and made Shirayuki possible. You know, so I have to, but I have to give my credit to my artist because without him, I wouldn't be doing Shiri. I wouldn't be Shirayuki right now, you know, or if I was to be Shirayuki, I may not have been as high of a caliber as I'm currently working at with Shirayuki.
So, what would you say is your favorite accomplishment of your channel so far?
Um, I mean, I've got a couple that's on my mind. After when I was reading these questions, I was kind of pieced together some answers to give you straight away, so it's not like I'm kind of wasting time, I
Well,
guess. But
go
but,
wherever you want with it. Don't feel too tied
yeah,
down to the question.
I think I think first of all was just the final creation of Shirayuki. I think that's one big achievement that I was very happy with. You know, seeing the original OG model and seeing the evolution of it is something that I'm very proud of and such. And I think if I have to choose like some like fan favorite things for me, we have a concept art. For anyone who knows me, you've probably have seen this concept art because I love showing it off of a lore-rich, reference-rich, lo-fi girl style Shirayuki concept art. That when we created that, it took 3 months to create it, and the end result is my favorite piece of artwork I've ever seen for my VTuber. I think in terms of like the actual content creation side of things, I think hitting Twitch affiliate was always something that I didn't expect to happen so quickly. I hit Twitch affiliate in the first 7 days of being Shirayuki,
Oh wow.
so that was something quite shocking. Uh, and I think all for any like small creators right now, for me included, I think getting your first paycheck is always uh, something magical. It doesn't matter how much the amount was. It was the fact that I've worked hard enough to where I've been able to actually manage to accumulate, a decent amount of money. But I think if I have to choose like something that is my favorite achievement overall, even though it's probably a bit of a smaller one, it was actually hitting 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Yep.
YouTube was where I started making content, so I think because of how my long form content has been and my videos have been, I think getting that moment where hitting 100 subscribers felt like such a big achievement to me because it's where my whole content creation career started. It was on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get that. Because before 100 subscribers, it's just something that you're kind of doing, and
Yeah,
then after 100 subscribers, it's a part of your life at that point.
yeah, it is, and it's something I'm always gonna remember because, like, I guess we could talk about this. I have I have a big philosophy when it comes to my channel. A lot of people appreciate the philosophy, and it's that the number never matters.
Yeah.
You know, um, I see a lot of people where they'll say that like they're not getting 10,000 or like a crazy amount of people watching or followers.
Hmm.
And I saw this incredible post that someone made where it just said, people were talking about all of these followers, but imagine 30 people are watching you.
Yes.
And now picture this 30 people just appear in your room and they're all staring at you. You know, when you really think about it, that is quite a daunting pressure. And the way I kind of present myself is by that kind of mannerism and that kind of like fact that I don't care. For me personally, I do not care if one person is watching me or 10,000 people are watching me. As a human being who is taking time out of their day that they can't get back to come watch my content, which as a result, I am going to entertain that person to the best of my ability. And that is something I always try and replicate in my streams all the time. Even if it's a quiet stream, even if it's a popular stream, I will present myself the same I would for either or. So that's kind of how I work.
That's kind of a similar concept to what I take to it. It's like when I'm doing something, I just keep him. I just kind of have in the back of my brain that I am the dancing monkey, and I better I better dance my little heart out.
Yeah. But yeah, I love it though. I think thinking back now, I think the reason why I stopped in 2018 was because I just didn't enjoy what I was doing. But
Yes.
and I think the number was such a big reason. I was always checking the number. I think anyone new into streaming will always be checking the number and thinking, why is there no number? But it comes, at times you don't expect it. You know, when I first hit affiliate, I got my first time getting like 10 gifted subs. I felt like it was the end of the world. I was like, what's going on? People just giving their money to me left, right, and center. I was like, but honestly, it's an incredible experience. And
Yes.
to anyone who's watching this video, your time will come when you at least expect it. So keep going, keep pushing, and keep making the content you enjoy. Because if you're not enjoying it, then why are you making the content,
Absolutely. So, what's been the biggest change to your channel since you started VTubing?
Oh, what has been the biggest change? I think uh, my overall like actually yes, the content I make. I chose to try to make content that people wanted me to play rather than what I wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think being Shirayuki, I've now chosen the games that I enjoy, and one thing that I've been personally loving about being Shirayuki for the past, what was it? We're just going into June, 9 months. It's nearly a year since I've been Shirayuki officially.
Wow.
Is the fact that people are coming to watch me for me. They're not coming to watch because I am playing what is popular, which is something that I am very much happy about. I mean, I just think the professionalism of my streams and my Twitter and all of this, I think there's just a lot more. It isn't just I'm going about it willy-nilly, just posting whatever I want to post. I'm being very like methodical with how I post, selecting the correct time zones for like where I want to, what audience I want to hit, all of this stuff. And I think just my overall like understanding of how I want Shirayuki to run and how I want to be able to go about it, I think that is the biggest change. And I've still got a long way to go with it. I actually, for some real life insight about the person behind Shirayuki, because they're definitely two separate entities.
Yeah.
I actually have a master's degree in September. So if anyone who doesn't know, master's degrees are what you do after university. It's a choice you can make. And I'm doing a master's degree in content creation. So I'm going to be learning a lot about the art and trying to make it even more of a career.
Oh wow. I honestly didn't even know that was a degree people offered.
I didn't either until a couple months ago. So I saw it and I went, yes, that's for me. Perfect.
Nice.
Good opportunity. We found it. Let's go.
So, what do you hope to accomplish through your channel?
I mean, I think the biggest thing I want to do, and I've technically already accomplished it, so it's something I'm very proud of. I want the Shirayuki channel to be a lighthouse for people to come just take time out of their day, just to get away from the world. I feel like sometimes, I'm not going to get political, but I feel like the world is a very stressful place and it's a very negative place,
Yeah.
And what I want Shirayuki to be, and it kind of is already to some people. I've had messages about lovely stuff about how I help them out a lot, and it's that I want my stream to be a lighthouse where even if it's for an hour, for just the people that just come to my stream, have a good time, make them smile, and make them have a good time. And as a content creator and a VTuber, that's what I live by. I think that's the biggest accomplishment. But saying that, I think I want to make this a career. So if I can, I think the biggest accomplishment that I can make is if I can become a full-time VTuber and I can just make a career out of what I'm doing.
That is very interesting. So, who is a VTuber you would love to talk to, and do you have anything that you'd want to ask them?
That's actually a really hard question. So, there's not many VTubers I actually watch, to tell you the truth. I kind of went into the field completely blind to like what is to be expected of like VTubing and how I should present myself. So I've had people tell me, and I've posted like my VTuber on Twitter for people to like rate them and stuff, which looking back, I probably shouldn't have. But a lot of people find Shirayuki kind of a boring design. Because it's not what you typically would see in a VTuber, and it's just like, But I think I think that there's a couple of VTubers who really like struck out to me. Like the first VTuber I probably started watching was Mori Calliope.
Yep.
I listened to her music a lot, and I just enjoyed her theme and her aesthetic a lot. But I think the biggest VTuber and not even just VTuber, like one of the biggest people, and I think this is just the same for everyone. I think one of the biggest VTubers who's had an impact on my life is probably Iron Mouse. Her story, it's a lot of it's just very inspirational, where she and who she is today.
Yes.
And I wouldn't really have a specific question to ask her, but I would just ask her for like any general advice. To be honest with you, I think what she's done for the community has really like pushed aside any doubt that VTubers can like do the same stuff that like other streamers can do.
Yeah.
She's done a lot, and even though like I get told about certain aspects about my character, I think just the fact that she just does what she wants and enjoys it, kind of gives me that inspiration to be like, I love Shirayuki for who he is and who they are. I'm not going to change myself just to get more views, because I wouldn't be having a good time. But Iron Mouse by far and is probably my biggest like inspiration for VTubing.
It's funny you mention her, because I actually went to an anime convention last week, and I actually saw a panel where there was a Q&A with her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Sick. Well, this is what you get. This is what I get for living in the British lands. Probably people could probably tell by my lovely voice that I am not American. I am British, and we get to experience the rain, and that's really it. To be honest with you.
Do you want to hear something that's going to infuriate you? When you
Sure.
when you first spoke, I thought that you were Australian.
You know what? That's the first time I've ever had anyone say that I sound Australian.
Well, no,
You know
what?
I think about it now. I'm like, do I sound Australian? I'm like, I think it's because I'm just like not like London British. I think it's because I have a little bit of an accent, a little bit. I say like it, but like I can see where the Australian comes from.
Well, no, I asked because I have a friend who has a similar voice to you. Although I think that might not, I think that might not be the accent. I think it just might be the voice, and I don't know what's the difference,
Yeah, exactly. I think my voice is alright. I think it's good enough for being an entertainer.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
The fact that there's two voices sound like me in this world is horrifying, but that's beside the point.
So, who do you prefer to watch? Big streamers or small streamers? And they don't need to be VTubers. I'm just talking generally.
Mixture for sure. I don't really watch streams, to tell you the truth. I actually prefer just YouTube videos to streams. If I'm watching a stream, like it'll be either for a friend or it's like a big event. So like
Hmm.
as a fighting game person, if you know what Evo is, you know when Evo's on.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching the Evo streams and watching the games and such. But I definitely do a mix. I think if I enjoy watching them, I don't really care about how many subscribers or viewers they have, to be honest with you. But
Mm-hmm.
like, for a couple of examples, one of my friends who you actually did a interview with
Yep.
recently, Aze, you know,
Yes.
she is someone who I enjoy watching, and she's doing incredible stuff. Um, Oh, let me think. Oh, I'm just trying to remember who I watched now. But okay, I can bring this up. So my biggest inspiration for just being a content creator as a whole, by far, is Maximilian Dude. So for anyone who doesn't know Maximilian Dude, he is a fighting game content creator.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing this for like so long. I'm pretty sure he started in 2009,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still going to this day. You know, and it's just like he is by far my biggest inspiration. I think like just his fighting game videos and how he does his videos, a lot of stuff he does kind of like inspires me to like kind of try and do it similarly without completely copying. But by far, Max Mini Dude is my biggest inspiration for why I wanted to be a content creator for sure. And I think
Mm-hmm.
anyone in the fighting game scene can kind of agree with me to a degree. He is just an incredible streamer slash YouTuber. And like for some smaller ones, you know, any of my friends who stream, I'll watch them, you know, because obviously I'm going to support them. And I just think if I like the videos, I like the videos. I'll watch them no matter how big or small they are. But a lot of the content I just watch is content around the same genres I do. So
Mm.
I watch a lot of fighting game videos, roguelikes, uh, card game videos, teamfight tactics, and this is all for inspiration, you know. But I think, sorry, one more
Oh,
person I think I need to bring up is
go for it.
Disguised Toast. I don't know if you've heard of Disguised Toast.
I'm afraid not.
Yeah, so Disguised Toast, he's part of Offline TV. They're like that. They're an American streamer house, streaming group. Disguised Toast, when he was doing Hearthstone, I didn't start watching his videos then, but during my GCSEs, which are basically like high school exams for anyone who doesn't know what GCSEs are,
Mm-hmm.
I struggled studying a lot, and Disguised Toast's Hearthstone and TFT videos were the reason I got my grades, and I got like B's and A's,
Mm-hmm.
and like that was probably because of Disguised Toast, you know.
Yeah.
So I've got to give him a lot of credit because you know I wouldn't have gone to college and then I wouldn't have gone to uni, you know. So
Wow.
I think Disguised Toast and Maximilian Dude are my big two inspirations.
That's a heck of a thing to relate to someone. I wouldn't have gone to university if it wasn't for this streamer.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So, it's your ideal stream. Who are you inviting on?
Uh, hmm. Who would I invite onto my ideal stream? Depends on what game we're playing.
Hmm.
Among Us. Let's go Among Us.
Okay.
Disguised Toast, one of them.
Okay.
Iron Mouse. Maximilian. Oh god, I need to remember who I watched now. This is embarrassing. I'm actually blanking. Myself. I should probably
Well,
include.
I hope that you're on your stream.
No, I'm just doing the production. I'm just doing the production.
That would be. Oh, this is so embarrassing. It's my stream and I'm not even allowed on it.
Exactly. Lily Petru's probably another one. Uh, my friend AJ, he would probably be on there. He's a really good. He's a very funny person.
Nice.
Aze would probably be one of them that would have to be on there. Oh, who else would I want on? I'm completely blanking. Two VTubers that I want to recommend to you for doing one of these interviews after. We got Selfie Days. He's a VTuber who does teamfight tactics, Marvel Rivals. He's been getting involved with a lot of big events recently.
Oh, wow.
Plum Pun VA. I think she's changed her name now to Plum.wav. I could be wrong. She's a VTuber who has been doing really good voice acting work. She's a voice actor.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, I think them eight. I couldn't think of any more, to be honest with you. I completely have blanked on who I watch.
So, sorry. What was your gateway anime, and what drew you to it?
Oh, um, gateway anime. So in terms of like
So maybe not the first anime you ever watched, but the one that you kind of associate in your mind. That's like, I really leaned into it after this.
oh oh I think oh there's some good options for me, especially since like there's actually a lot of options actually I could think of now. Oh God, Doctor Stone
Yep.
is probably one of them.
Mm-hmm.
High Q
Mm-hmm.
is probably another one. Them two especially. So Doctor Stone, I don't know what it is about that anime, but like just the idea of just seeing nothing become something really resonates with me. You know,
I totally
and
get that.
like just watching them make a light bulb just like causes me to like shed emotions, and I'm like, what is going on? It's a light bulb, but it's the progression, and I think that progression kind of like resides in me a bit. Because it's like you when you always look back at what work you've done, you kind of look back and go, oh yeah, this is where I was, and now look at me now.
If you really like that aspect, have you ever seen the YouTube channel How to Make Everything?
I have not. I have not heard of it.
You should absolutely check that out, because they basically do the Dr. Stone thing. That is, they try and recreate, the guy tries to recreate modern technology or even ancient technology by using the available tools at the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds actually really interesting. And then with Haikyuu, Haikyuu just makes me cry and makes me feel things. You know, there's a lot of episodes that really like get you thinking about a lot of stuff. I think for anyone who's watched Haikyuu, you'll probably understand this. But season 4, episode 16, you guys know for sure. It's that like basically for context, the character is like talking about like he's not good enough, and that there's people who are better than him, and he kind of goes, you can't be think about this. You can only do as best as you can, and you've always got to keep pushing and break past your limit. And I think that one speech he does in the episode is something that I resonate with a lot. I actually go back to it anytime I need motivation. There's been like AMVs made of it, and I will literally go back and I will rewatch it just to get myself hyped to do something.
That's the great thing about anime. They can take something that you would if you were just an outside party looking at it, you'd be like, this isn't interesting. Volleyball? Nobody watches volleyball. And then they make an anime out of it, and all of a sudden I am so incredibly invested in this.
Exactly. It's because they just do such a good job of just like building up every character in the show. I think that's one thing a lot of animes don't do correctly. Is a lot of animes I feel like don't like show progression in every single character, and like the main set of characters, right? I don't think some like, for example, my favorite anime of all time is now One Piece for sure, right?
Okay.
But even with One Piece, I feel like there's some characters they just do not show enough progression to compared to others.
Yes.
And like, I think that's why Haikyuu is always going to be in my top 3, is because every single character in the main the main squad all have progression in their own form of way. Even if it's like one episode, it's still like a big change in like how they do it. And I just think it's just a magical experience, you know.
My favorite example of an anime that does that is Mob Psycho 100, because every single character, even the relatively minor characters, have their own character progression throughout the series. And there's this weird interplay between that and the nature of the plot, because in my opinion, the person who is strongest in that anime changes consistently throughout the series, because you start out, Mob is the strongest character. Why? Well, he's got all these crazy powers, but then just in season 1 it transitions into somehow Reagan, the charlatan of the group, becoming the strongest character because he has like the philosophy and the charisma to back it up. It's the most bizarre thing, and they do that consistently throughout every single season of the show, and I love that.
And I think that's one thing that like that Haikyuu does well for me as well. Is my favorite character is always changing. You know, I think Doctor Stone doesn't really do it because, in my opinion, I think the main character in Doctor Stone is just the best character in that show, just because of how he goes about things. And then with One Piece, you know, I think everyone has their favorites in One Piece, and like they kind of stick to their favorites. There's never really a change.
Yeah.
For example, like my favorite in One Piece is probably Luffy. I just think he's very emotionally intelligent, and that's something I kind of strive to be when it comes to going about my streams and such. So there's a lot, and Roger, Gold Roger, is probably another character that I actually kind of resonate with a lot. You know, you just seek out that glory, that treasure that you want to find. And for me, even though I don't know what the treasure is, one day I personally hope to seek it out as well, as cringe as that may sound, you know? Like, yeah.
I love Luffy because the way that he approaches problem solving is like that of a child, but he has such dedication to it. He just throws himself into it absolutely in such a way that I can't help but like him. Here we go. What advice would you give to someone who wants to be an entertainer?
Okay. So for context, a bit more information about me. I'm actually a head admin for an organization that does fighting game tournaments.
Okay.
And I was the commentator for that organization. So a big part of it is I think have fun is one thing. I know that sounds so simplistic. It's just just have fun. But like I feel like a lot of entertainers, one thing they completely forget is if you're not enjoying it, you know, your audience is going to recognize it. As dumb as that may sound, people pick up on stuff so fast, right?
Yes.
And so if you aren't presenting yourself, if you have like a minor thing that happens, people pick it up immediately. Like, and you gotta always remember, like, if you're not, one thing that someone said to me at university once was, if you're on a bad day or feels like something's not going right, just remember why you do it to begin with. You know, and that is something that's always stuck with me. It's like, even if you're for example, even if you're like streaming and you're not getting that many viewers, a big thing that recently came to light for me, which is why this past week has been an emotional roller coaster for me in terms of changing who I am as Shirayuki and who I am as a person, is that even if you get one subscriber and you see someone else who's got loads of subscribers, that does not make you any worse than that other person. What that actually shows to you, and this is something that I'm trying to change with my ideology, is it's not that I've failed, it's that I've made so much progress to the point where this has actually been a possibility where someone has actually come to watch me. And it's these type of philosophies where, like, if you can incorporate them into how you do stuff as an entertainer, I genuinely think you will be able to have so much more fun with the content you're making. Also, this is each to their own. You can decide if you want to do this or not. But a big thing for me is play the games you want to play. I don't like trying to play what is meta or quote unquote meta. So I don't like playing games like Repo. I don't like playing what is popular right now in the streaming world.
Well, you said you play Marvel Rivals, so that one's out.
I only play it if I'm asked to play it. I don't choose to play it on my own streams for context.
Gotcha. Let's see. Repo is basically the same thing as what's it called? The this is gonna kill me. Hold on. Phasmophobia. Yeah, that's one. Lethal Company is another one.
Yeah, Lethal Company. Like, even though these games are very popular, I just don't see my. I just, for me personally, if you don't enjoy them games, don't force yourself to play them just to get viewership. Because one
Yes.
thing that's very like is really good advice. Choose a if your game is in a very niche market, you should pursue in that market. Because what ends up happening is people who see you be, oh my god, there's someone who's playing the game I actually really enjoy. I'm gonna go watch them now, you know? And then you've already solved half the issue because you're not actually battling against as many people now because you're playing games that you enjoy that are maybe niche to what is most popular.
Here's the thought. I think that there is some sort of sweet spot where you can play a game that is not in the meta and that
Yes,
is totally outside but will still attract a large audience because it resonates very strongly with people. One streamer that I watch, he was streaming, for example, Kingdom Hearts, and
yeah,
obviously this game has been around for a long time. It is
yeah,
far outside the meta, but
yeah.
the people who went in were really invested in watching this game because they connect to that game so strongly. And I feel like this is the sort of thing that a streamer could theoretically do and not participate in the meta at all and still be successful.
Exactly, and that's why I choose the games that I play. Because I wouldn't say like, in all honesty, like compared to like Repo and all of these games, I wouldn't say fighting games are like meta. You know, they're
Yes.
still a very prominent genre of games. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say they're like meta to the point where you're going to be seeing every streamer play them games. I feel like that's why I'm happy that I'm in such a community where it's still niche to a point, but
Mm.
still like as you said, people are going to come watch it because they enjoy the content, and that's why I'm happy with all the genres I picked. I think roguelikes especially because I think, especially for me, I like on my channel we do this thing where we try and 100% as many roguelikes as possible. We are currently playing Windblown. It's the new game made by the people who made Dead Cells,
Yep.
and like some people really appreciate when you play bad roguelikes. Like yeah, I'm not saying Windblown is bad. It's actually a really good game. But I've played some bad roguelikes on stream, and people still enjoy it just because it's something different, you know.
Yes.
And that's a big thing is like being unique to anyone else. Like that's why I really like Shirayuki because I've never seen anyone else do a silhouette style VTuber where they're actually going kind of breaking the fourth wall in the sense that yes, you can't actually see who is the one talking behind the camera, you know.
I will confess I have seen one other silhouette style. I won't name him here though. Uh,
That's perfectly fine, but it's the fact that you haven't seen that many. It's the
oh,
point, you know. It's rare.
it's rare and I personally like the look a lot. The aesthetic of it I find appealing. So,
Exactly.
yes.
But yeah, I think as an entertainer, the biggest advice I could give, as dumb as it may sound, is just have fun. You know.
Yes. And I have certainly run into this too. The audience is a very subconscious thing. They act subconsciously. They can tell what it is that you're feeling in the moment, even if you can't tell yourself, and they respond to it.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching a friend stream earlier today, and they weren't feeling the greatest, and then the whole chat realized this immediately, right? And like the audience kind of like it's kind of like a infinite loop where like the audience kind of reacts how the streamer reacts from time to time. So if the
Yes.
streamer's happy, for example, when I hit my highest rank on a fighting game, my whole chat was going like happy about it, right? They were like really happy about it. But
Yes.
then when I was having days where I didn't feel great, they would go for a more like nurturing approach where they would kind of talk about like a lot of stuff. And I had people come into my streams who we were doing this like bingo card thing where we were going through each of the different sections of it. And I talked about my favorite song. So I played my favorite song on stream and such. And I was talking about loads of stuff. And then I had like 3 people follow me from that 6-minute song that was being played just because everything I was talking about was just something that they could relate to, you know?
Yes. Uh, so, uh, I almost forgot if I asked. If you could go to an anime convention tomorrow, whom would you cosplay as?
I actually have an idea. So one, I would like to cosplay Shirayuki. Like,
Hmm.
I think it would be cool, but I'm gonna be doing. I might be doing a cosplay. It's not 100% on this.
Yep.
Me and my friend, she does cosplays, and I suggested to her we do a fighting game cosplay together.
Hmm.
So I might be doing. If anyone knows Under Night in Birth, I might be doing Seth from Under Night in Birth. He's like a guy who wears like a giant white, well, giant like black like coat with like two daggers, and he like it's like his design is very similar to what Shirayuki looks like right now, with the one like kind of like piece of hair being a different color to all the others.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I have so many fighting game characters I would love to do. You know, I think if I was to ever get into cosplaying, for like, I would primarily like see myself doing fighting game cosplays because there's so many unique designs in fighting games, and I think it is. I think it'd be nice to be able to see a bit more fighting game cosplays for sure.
Uh, so, of the games you've played, which game do you think you had the most fun playing on stream?
Ah, that's such a difficult question. I think
Well, how about this then? Which one pops into your mind first?
there's two that pops into my mind actually. So the first one, to some people's shock who's watching this, is Street Fighter 6.
Hmm.
That game is an emotional roller coaster for me, for in terms of how we go from one stream being really happy to the next stream me crashing out, to the next stream being me really happy, to the next stream me crashing out. So as much as I have this like emotional roller coaster connection with Street Fighter 6, I've had the most fun with it. I just think learning the game and just seeing my improvement has been incredibly fun. And then on the other hand, and some people are probably going to laugh when they hear this, is Vampire Survivors. So Vampire Survivors is the dopamine roguelike. Is basically where the whole game is just loads of stuff on your screen trying to attack you 24/7. Uh, for context, I have 100%ed the game 6 times.
Wow.
So it is a very fun game, and when anytime I play it, I have some people saying, "Are you ever going to stop playing this game?" And I always tell them no, until recently, where I tried playing it for the seventh time, 100% it for the seventh time on stream, and I was like, I can't do this for a seventh time. There's nothing new to really enjoy with the game. I'm just going to play something else.
I love that when you can go back to a game and you're like, I already know how all of this is done already, but I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna have a freaking blast doing it.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. Obviously, once again, going back to the game genres I picked, all of them have such replayability.
Yes.
Like, if you fighting games, TFT, and card games,
Hmm.
there's so much replayability that I don't even need to explain it. But with roguelikes, even if you're 100% in the game, you could go back and go, oh yeah, we're going to do a build with this and try and do this instead. And so you get a lot of ideas. So a lot of like content creators who do like strategy games like Northern Lion and like trading card games, they kind of like, even though it's like stuff that's already been done, they like try and enhance it by doing like, oh yeah, there's this challenge where I can only do this build and such, and try and beat the whole game with this build. And I like replayability in games. That's one big thing for me.
Or you got the crazy people who are like, I'm going to play the entire game, but I'm not going to use any weapons at all, or something nuts like that. And you're like, how
Yeah,
would that work?
so I actually have an idea for uh, when I get to a certain game. There's a weapon that says if you take damage, you insta die. And I'm planning on doing a run where the whole time I can only use that weapon.
Wow.
So yes, that's going to be incredibly fun. I'm definitely going to enjoy that.
Uh, Speaking of things that will be fun, what games are you looking forward to?
So when I was reading this question, I was trying to like think about what games I was looking forward to,
Hmm.
and like it's really hard to say right now because a lot of the games that are coming out are like GTA. Well, I say coming out. GTA 6 is still ages
Okay.
away.
How about this then? You tend to play games that are outside the meta. Are there any games that you haven't played yet that you're looking forward to playing?
Yes, I have a list of 50 different roguelikes on my Steam account and I can tell you right now, I think I've played a grand total of 4 of them. So we have a lot of content we can do. Big ones that I can remember. I've got Binding of Isaac that I
Yep.
really want to play. Hollow Knight is another one I really want to play that I haven't yet. There's an Eldritch horror kind of roguelike game called oh, why am I completely blank? Forgive Me Father. So
Yep.
it's so I want to play Forgive Me Father 2, Blasphemous, which is kind of like a horror style roguelike game.
Okay.
And actually, I did think of a game that's coming out, Virtua Fighter 5. So for the Virtua Fighter series, it's like a fighting game series. They're like they're rebranding with this whole new like 4K version where you look like you're actually playing as actual people, and the characters look like incredibly realistic rather than typical fighting game cartoon kind of style. And I think the game looks really cool for what they're trying to go for. So yeah, for sure, them type of games is what I'm kind of looking forward to. In terms of like, I mean, any new set of TFT, Teamfight Tactics is always nice. You know, even if I do get bored of them very quickly. And then for card games, I mean, any new set for like any card games coming out, I'm always excited. I'm also working on a secret project relating to card games that I can't tell you now, but we are in a very, very early stage of that. So I'm very excited for that project that I can finally work on because I've now finished university. Basically, I'm literally finishing next week.
Oh wow! Well, congratulations.
Yep.
So now I'm going to move on to the more random questions of the interview.
Yep.
Which do you prefer, Elvis or the Beatles?
Neither. Michael Jackson is my choice out of the 3. I don't listen to Elvis or the Beatles. Michael Jackson is my preferable. I like what have I been listening to? Why am I completely blanking on the name? I can't remember the name, but I think Michael Jackson. But I do listen to some Beatles songs. So if I had to choose between the two, I would choose the Beatles. But I think Michael Jackson trumps both of them. So
you know you're not the first person to see that question and then immediately go like, no, neither one, Michael Jackson.
yeah, I mean his music is just incredible. I mean some of the songs are just great, and they're just a vibe. I love listening to it.
I'm trying to remember who was it who said that love Michael. Was it Ozzy? I feel like Ozzy might have responded that way.
It might have been Ozzy. I don't actually remember who said it, but I know for me personally, I think Michael Jackson's content is great, especially recently. I didn't really listen to him much, but recently I've been listening to. I found the song is Tabloid Junkie.
Yep.
It's the song about basically all the fake news that was being spread about him, and he wrote a song about it. And that's like probably not the choice that everyone goes for, but that's my personal favorite Michael Jackson song. I know. I think for Michael Jackson, I think people kind of tend to go for like Thriller as like their main choice.
Yeah.
Or like Billie Jean, which are still really good songs. But
of course.
For me, I think I love Tabloid Junkie.
Yeah, Michael Jackson is an interesting character. There's a guy. His name was Yogi Berra, and he was said these weird, strange things. And one of the things he said was, "I didn't say half the things I said."
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is kind of like, no, I didn't do half the things I did.
Yeah.
But yes, I did look it up briefly, and yes, it was Ozzy. So you two are in the exact same boat.
Please do not say that. I do not need her knowing. I do not need to. So basically, for context, we have like this kind of like small war. It's not like anything crazy, and all it is a war between the fact that Ozzy likes coffee and I like Pepsi, and so that's the whole war. But like, it's just like a funny like inside joke we have in the community and such, and it's just a bit of fun.
Well, I mean, if she knows you like Pepsi, then if you like Pepsi, then that might hit against you with Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
given his history with the brand.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, but oh mate.
So What's a song you can't help but dance to when you hear it?
Oh, I'm not really a. Okay, let me think for a second because I'm. Oh, that's a lie. I just probably Mr. Brightside by the
By
Killers
the
is a
Killers,
good.
yep.
And then uh, Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon is probably another really good song.
Mm.
And then Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams. They're like the three that they're like kind of like they're quite old songs from what I remember, but like they're like in my family especially. The last two I said were like very like big songs for us. Oh, and Sweet Caroline, that's my like dad's favorite song, so I probably got to mention that as well.
Oh, I should. That's not the first time that song's been brought up on this channel. I should let you know. I'm from the Boston area. I'm from
Yeah.
southern New Hampshire, and Boston has a long history with that particular song. They play it
Oh, really?
yes, the Boston's baseball team, the Boston Red Sox. If you're
Yeah.
familiar with baseball, they play that song every single game during the
Oh,
seventh inning. Uh, it's very very famous. The guy Neil Diamond wrote it about Caroline Kennedy. It's personally I can't stand the song, but
fair enough.
it's played so very frequently around here. The only song that you go to Boston, there are three songs that you're gonna hear. Number one is Sweet Caroline. Number two, there's a song called Dirty Water by the Standells, which was made in like I think it was the late 50s, early 60s. And there's there's a band called the Dropkick Murphys, and they're they have what's it called, rock bagpipes. And
That sounds
so
sick.
yeah, and you'll hear songs from I forget what the name was it Shipping Out to Boston, I think is the name of the
Yeah.
song. Yeah, you'll hear that uh, all the time.
Fair enough.
But I think that's funny that that song keeps coming up. Uh,
Well, for people in the UK, I think a lot of the times we hear Sweet Caroline either at darts. So
mhm.
darts is a big thing in the UK
Yes.
because the darts tournaments are always massive, and football. I think soccer or football, however however you want to call it. Sweet Caroline is played normally at the end or the beginning of a match, and so there's that kind of thematic to it as well. So
Yeah. What's your favorite chill out movie?
I have two chill out movies. Number one is Cars.
Yep.
Uh, I love. It was my favorite movie growing up as a child, and
Hmm.
even when I go back and watch it from time to time now, I love it. I think it's still a really good movie. I think the way they went about doing it, even though it's not everyone's favorite, I really enjoy it.
Hmm.
And then a bit of a weird one. I don't know. From what I've been told, not many people know about this film, right? And
Hmm.
it's 1986's The Labyrinth film. I don't know if you've watched it.
A Labyrinth, the one with David Bowie.
Yes, the one with David Bowie.
Yes. I
Yes,
do know.
so
I won't lie. I've never seen it, but I have certainly heard of it.
I love that film so much. I don't know what it is, but like, for context, it's a kids' film, and it should not be a kids' film, by the way. That
Hmm.
film has some horrifying scenes in it, right?
Yes.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but me and my mum, it's like a movie that like we kind of like have a really good like moment like bonding together. I guess in a
Hmm.
sense, as we both love the film, and we will always like sometimes listen to like the soundtrack in the car. But for me, one thing that I love about it is how like you could tell how old it is. So there's
Hmm.
a scene where you can literally see like because a lot of it was made by Jim Henson and his puppets,
Yes.
right? Because they're involved in the film. There's a scene where you can actually see the people who are moving the puppets in their like morph suits moving around in one of the scenes,
Mm.
and it's just something so funny to me because the song that's being sung at that point is about ripping like taking the main character's head off, right? But it's so funny, and I just think it's a bit of a weird movie. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't say it's the most normal film, but like it's actually just so good. I enjoy it so much.
it's it's sort of a lost art. The special effects, like things that are happening in
Yes.
real life, and I wish that it made a comeback, because even though we can like brush these things off as being cheesy
Yeah.
today, I don't think they're cheesy at all. I think that they're really impressive because and there's a sort of there's a feel to these things that you don't get from like CGI, for example. And
Yes.
I think that that's sorely missing from movies today. I would love to see a return to special effects.
I think it's also because of like it's quite nostalgic. You know, you see like these old movies do like all of this stuff, and like now I think that nowadays a lot of movie companies won't do it, unfortunately, because of the kind of perfectionism kind of aspect of it. You know, a lot. I think people kind of judge movies quite heavily now, and like if they were to see, for example, that whole incident with Game of Thrones and the Starbucks coffee that was in the Game of Thrones scene, you know,
Yeah.
like that blew up from frame of the thing, and I think a lot of movie companies are kind of scared to kind of like dip their toes back into the old stuff, which is a very big shame, I think.
I don't think it's that. I think the reason is money, because
That too.
my understanding is that practical effects are much more expensive, and not only that, it's often the case that you only get like one shot to get it right, whereas
Yes.
3D, yeah, you just render it. Like, I remember hearing a story about, if you're familiar with The Shining, uh,
Yes.
yeah,
I
there's
love horror.
there's a scene where the elevator doors open and blood comes pouring out into the hallway,
Yeah.
and that scene, they had to construct the entire hallway with all of the intricate details on it. They had to make it perfect, and it cost something like $100,000 just to do that.
Yeah.
And they had literally one shot to get it right. And apparently, the director, Stanley Kubrick, was like really nervous, because the thing is, if you know anything about Stanley Kubrick, he's the kind of guy who shoots things about 1,000 times to get it
Times.
just
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah. And like I know, I'm pretty sure that his Johnny scene took a lot of tries to get perfect when they were making that film as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love horror though, so I've watched all of these. And one other movie I wanted to bring up, because I think this movie doesn't get enough love, right?
Yep.
Is Treasure Planet.
Yes.
Um, Treasure Planet is like, in my opinion, like, it's one of the like best, in my personal opinion, it's one of the best animated films of all time, in my opinion.
Yes.
There's so much like rich details and good storytelling in that film. It just really is unfortunate that not as many people watched it. It also doesn't help that it has made me cry on several occasions of watching it, especially during certain scenes. But like, it's just so good. Like, the storytelling, the motivation moments from it, the kind of emotional like knowledge that like some of the characters have. I just think it's incredible, and it's very much a shame that not many people have actually seen it.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I do remember that it was really impressive to watch, because that was briefly before computer graphics basically took over everything. That was
Yeah,
like one of the last cell animation style movies before everything was CGI.
exactly.
And it was really a shame, because I remember it being very, very detailed and very aesthetically pleasing to watch. That kind
Yeah,
of thing.
it's so good,
Yes.
so good.
So I keep getting lost. What's wrong? What's wrong with me today? Uh, what's something you've been meaning to do but haven't done yet?
Uh,
And it can be literally anything. It can be like, oh, I haven't taken out the trash today.
uh, I guess one thing is clean my room is a little bit. It's not in the best condition right now. But I think going to the gym consistently has been something that I haven't been doing properly. I think I went like 2 times this week, and I haven't gone for the other 3 days, 4 days of this week. So I'm kind of like I need to go consistently. I very much am trying to better my health to the best of my ability. So I think trying to go to the gym consistently is probably one big thing for me. I
Hmm.
also think just starting projects,
Yes.
like, and what I mean by this is a lot of the time what and I'm this is like a bad habit of mine that I'm breaking down is I will procrastinate on a lot of topics on
Hmm.
our projects. I'll go, oh yeah, I have this really cool idea to do this, right? And I never go for it,
Yes.
right? And it's something I'm trying to improve on, which is why for like the card game project I was talking about earlier, I'm actually going about starting stuff with it, doing stuff with it, you know, and with my law because these are both projects that I've actually physically started with. But
Hmm.
I think I think it's difficult, to start projects from time to time, especially if you don't really have like a baseline or an avenue of where you want to start at.
Mm.
And I think the hardest part is always starting.
Yes.
I think once you get going, you kind of enter like this cycle of like you're in the zone and you're constantly doing work
Mm.
24/7. I guess one more thing I need to finish is my university assignment that I'm still working on. I'm doing a dissertation research paper
Oh wow.
on the psychology of the psychology of meta and metagaming in fighting games.
Hmm.
So I'm in the midst of writing that right now, but granted, I've still got quite a while until that's due in, so I'm not really stressed out about it,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Yeah. No. I actually struggle with the getting started part myself. There's a name for it. It's executive function. Basically the process of starting tasks, and that's one of the things that I've struggled with the most. I've developed a few tricks personally that work for me, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's one of the things that I try and work my way around. Uh,
yeah.
would you ever talk to a stranger unprompted in a public setting?
Yeah. I think I think it is very like I think it's depending on the setting.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we're like at an event or something, I've done this before. I've gone and spoken to random people.
Yep.
On a night out when I used to drink, I would go and speak to
Hmm.
random people. You know, um, yeah, I'd always. I think it's always nice to find out people's stories randomly. I've spoken to loads of people, and even though I probably will never speak to lots of these people again, these are like all different stories that I've got to witness, and like it kind of helps with like building confidence in yourself. Taking not just the talking aspect of it, but taking that risk to actually go and speak to someone. I think nowadays, especially with how like a lot of culture has been with like a lot of stuff, you know, I think some people are just scared to go have a conversation with someone, and it is
Mm.
just, and I do. I'm not sitting there like I'm the most confident person in the world
Oh no
because
no
I
no
used
no
to.
no. We
I'm
all
a
we all
VTuber.
have our comfort level.
Exactly. And I think, just taking that step and going to speak to someone, I think it's very an important skill to learn, especially in how the world kind of functions nowadays. But yeah, I would always go speak to someone and have a conversation with them. It's a story that you don't know yet. And yeah,
Absolutely. So, which do you prefer, chess or poker?
that's a really hard question because I really like both of them for
Hmm.
two different reasons. I'm not good at either for context. But I enjoy watching like the strategy play out. Like I've watched like Queen's Gambit, and
Hmm.
I watch a lot of poker tournaments just for a bit of fun, when I'm bored.
Yep.
And it's not I just enjoy the math aspect of it because like you kind of like for me personally, especially with the games I play, I like thinking what are they thinking about,
Hmm.
you know. So I think they're both incredible games. I think chess has become more mainstream, only because than poker, only because of the nature of chess compared to poker. Is with chess you're not putting any like monetary value on the line, whilst with poker you always have to be basically in a way always putting monetary value on the line
Hmm.
because obviously you're still gambling, and that's the whole point of poker is to take a risk to maybe get a reward in return. But I think both of them are still enjoyable to watch, even though I don't enjoy playing them.
Hmm. So, have you ever been convinced to buy something from a commercial?
Uh, I'm trying to. Not really. I wouldn't say I have. I guess that's technically a cop out answer, but any new trading card set for any game from Magic the Gathering or the One Piece card game I play,
Mm-hmm.
they will always release commercials for the new sets that are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, kind of yeah, I guess, because I'll see them and go, yo, that's cool. I want to get that now, And so I guess we could say yes, but in terms of like other than that, like separating that, I don't think there's ever been a time where I've brought something from watching like a TV commercial and thinking, oh, that would be really cool in my life. I kind of just go about finding the stuff I need when I need them.
Yeah, it's funny because commercials for how ubiquitous they are in society don't seem to be very effective at directly selling people on things.
I think it's because a lot of the time commercials try and make something so like you look at like a McDonald's for example, right?
Yeah.
And they show off this burger that looks incredibly like the burger's glistening, the cheese is melted, all
Yeah.
of this. It's because they put a lot of effects on it to make it look that way.
Yes.
And then obviously there's been people who have like brought the food, seen what it looks like, and goes, "This is what it actually looks like in real life compared to what the commercial shows you." And that stays, especially for big companies like McDonald's, like all of these, and like I think it is very difficult nowadays for commercials to actually get people to buy stuff. It's just a lot but bigger companies already have that longevity in the sense that, oh yeah, I'll go to a McDonald's to get a McDonald's because I like eating McDonald's. It's not because the commercial has shown me that this Big Mac that has like the most like glistening piece of meat on there is gonna make me want to eat it. Like
It reminds me, there's a movie called Falling Down starring Michael Douglas, and it's basically he's got like this workaday attire on. He's got like the button down shirt and these big glasses, and he looks like he's like 40 something years old. And then one day he just loses it while sitting in traffic and basically goes on a criminal rampage, except that it's really all in the context of like a consumer just raging at the way that things have gone in the world. And there's one scene he goes into a burger chain, and he basically has that exact same thought. What's the difference between this picture and this burger that you just gave me? So imagine that conversation, except that it's a middle-aged guy carrying a submachine gun.
yeah. But like that's the truth of it. People remember stuff all the time. They will always bring up stuff that has happened in the past for all of these food places, but they have the luxury of just having that longevity. It's like the Subway, all the Subway incidents. I don't know if you heard about Subway. There was a person who brought a Subway, they measured it, and it wasn't a foot long. So because of that, they sued Subway saying, you haven't given me a foot long sandwich. So as a result, Subway now has to measure every sandwich they make sure it's a foot long.
I mean, well, the easy solution to that is to just make the bun a foot long.
You'd think that, but they probably do it in like batches and such, where like they could just cut them and then get them on the way. I
don't know what goes through these people's heads. Where would your friends kidnap you to?
Oh, it's not really the normal question I'd think of. Well, I know some of them would kidnap me to wherever coffee was invented, so that's probably a good answer. Where would someone kidnap to? Where is a place where someone would make me feel? A cheesecake factory.
I live near a couple of them. I've never been to a cheesecake factory, but I've always been curious.
Well, I think people would kidnap me to there because my friends know that I do not like cheesecake whatsoever. So I think that would be a nightmare. Any place that sells whipped cream, like a squirty cream out of the can, that is my pet peeve food. I actually despise whipped cream out of a can. I think it, so I could see that.
If you don't mind me asking, why do you hate whipped cream out of a can? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I don't know. I've tried it, and the texture just makes me like. So for context, the first time I ever had a profiterole roll. Do you know what profiterole roll is, or
a parfait roll?
A profiterole roll. It's like a dough ball that has chocolate on top and whipped cream in the middle of it.
Okay, so this is like a cream puff.
Yeah, like a cream puff, like a cream puff. The
Yeah.
first time I ever had one, I threw up. So
Wow.
I just hate whipped cream. I think I don't know what it is. I just don't like it on pancakes. I don't like it when people squirt it in their mouth. I don't like it when, you know, a lot of this stuff, and I'm just like, this isn't for me. But like saying that, my one of my family members despises ketchup, like the same
Yep.
way I despise whipped cream. So we kind of have that going for that because they like whipped cream and I like ketchup. So it's a really awkward time where we have to basically move the bottles and cans away from each other to make sure they're just not near each other. It's really silly, but like I'm a lot more better for it. Like I will pick up the whipped cream can to give it to someone, but like I will not choose to eat it. But like if it's on a milkshake, for example, I will drink from the milkshake. It's not like I'm gonna go, no, I can't drink this milkshake. It's got whipped cream in it. I will still drink it. I just
Yep.
wouldn't eat the whipped cream part. I would just let it melt in the bottom of it.
So what I'm gathering from this question is that your friends want to torture you.
Yes, yes, 100%. That is a factual question answer.
Okay. What's your favorite thing you ever cooked yourself?
Oh God, I'm not the greatest chef. My friends know this. I actually burnt a piece of pork loin the other day,
Yep.
so that wasn't great. But what have I had that was like a really good meal? Something that I it's a bit so I guess the pork loins actually. I guess we'll go with the pork loins. So even though I
Okay.
burned the one the other day, what normally it's like a Chinese pork loin,
Mm-hmm.
and like I would have it with like noodles, and I would have like some cheese on the noodles, right? And
Yep.
even though it's a simple meal, it's not like a Gordon Ramsay thing, right? I I love it. I think it's just a good meal. It's got protein in it.
Mm.
Even though I don't really look at that stuff, I enjoy it. But one thing is a bit of a, like off topic. One thing I like want to do for like now that I'm finishing uni is actually learn how to cook properly for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because as a uni student, it gets really boring eating the same couple of meals every single day.
Yes.
So I kind of want to start learning how to cook a little bit more, so I can actually start cooking actual meals that aren't just the same thing every single week.
Have you ever cooked pork tenderloin?
I have not.
It the thing about pork loin that I find is that it's very very easy to overcook it. Pork tenderloin doesn't have the same problem. It doesn't dry out nearly as quickly.
Yeah.
So that's a big recommend from me. But oh, what was I gonna say? The other thing, university food. When I first went to university, because the college I went to was renowned for having a huge dining hall, and so you go
Yeah.
in and they served everything, and so at the beginning you would have like you'd see the freshmen load their plate with stuff, and at the end you'd see the seniors with a bowl of cereal
Yeah.
because they got sick of having everything.
Well, for our university, the way it worked is first year you get to be in a hall, so accommodation,
Mm.
uh, and like they would do like loads of different meals. And in the second year, you're not actually allowed to stay in halls of recommendation unless you have a medical condition. So we all had to move into houses after.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved into a house, which is kind of a bad thing because now we don't get an option of seeing other foods unless we're at the uni to have a lesson, you know. And so a lot of the time it'd just be like pasta, with like chicken and such.
Yeah.
But like simple stuff, like nothing crazy. But I remember in the first year on Fridays it would be fish and chip Friday, where they'd do fish and chips every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really the biggest fan of fish. I will eat it. I'm not really the biggest fan of it though. But they were doing waffles and waffles, bacon, and fried chicken with maple syrup.
Mm.
One a couple weeks, and that was the best meal I ever had there. It was so
Wow.
good,
Yeah,
so good.
I've yet to have chicken and waffles, but I do know that it's a common fare food around here, so
Yeah.
I should probably try it someday. Uh, Now on the other end, what's the worst thing you ever cooked yourself?
Oh, oh God. Okay. So my first day of university, I nearly burnt down my accommodation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I had like an apple crumble, but like the oven was like really bad, so like it would cook it way too fast. So I'd put it in for the normal time, but it started smoking, and I was like, oh god, and like I felt so bad, and I was like, I've just wasted half an apple crumble that I can't eat now, and it was the most sad experience taking half the apple crumble out of the like the tin foil, to put it on a plate for the other half to go into the bin. And I remember for the rest of the day, I was just not in a mood because I was like, I've just one, I nearly burned down my accommodation. Two, I'm the only person in my accommodation, and three, half of my apple crumble was gone into the bin. So that's probably the worst thing I've ever cooked.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. What's a place you've been to where you want to return someday?
oh, that's actually a really hard question. Let me think. In Ireland, I guess. Yeah, in Ireland. I'm trying to think of places I've been to. I
Mm.
would love to go. Japan. Like Japan is a place I would love to go one day. I've never been, but I would
Mm-hmm.
love to go to Japan. But in Ireland, there's this place called the Giant Causeway, which is just like a giant, like it's like a seaside cliff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's just a giant cliff. It's like 132 stairs. And
Okay.
We went on holiday, and I, for some reason, I just decided to run up the whole 132 stairs, right?
Yeah.
And I got to the top and I looked out, and it's like something you would see in like a movie.
Yeah.
It's just it's just the ocean with like a gentle breeze with a sun, and like it was just something where it's like a I like reflected for like a good like hour because I was all the way up at the top, so I was waiting for my family to get up there. And I remember just sitting at the top, just reflecting on loads of stuff for an hour, and I felt so good after the reflection and such. So that's one place. I think another place. This is a bit of like a weird situation because it's like for the chance of this happening is really difficult. But
Mm-hmm.
have you ever watched Ranking of the Kings?
No.
So there's a song, Ranking of the Kings. It's like a real chill song.
Mm-hmm.
And we were coming home from Germany when we went to Germany for the first time. We're flying, and as the song got to its final chorus, the sun it was a sunset. The sun lit up the whole interior of the plane pink, and as the chorus hits at the end, and it was like I felt like I was in another world. I was
Wow.
like, I want to do that again. It was so cool. Like I was like, I'm just there like vibing, and it just happens, and I'm like, what is going on? This is not, and it was so perfectly timed, and it was like it was like my favorite plane ride ever, just because of that one moment. The whole plane lit up pink from the sun.
Wow. S- so, you find $20 in the street. What do you buy with it?
Um, five packs of Magic the Gathering or 5 packs of One Piece, which is the dumb decision, right? Or we go with the smart decision is we just don't spend the money at all and save it. I know it's such a boring answer, but like
Uh,
£20 is £20, you know.
honestly, half of people say save it. So, so you're
Like,
not alone.
but I feel like any amount of money could go somewhere. You never know. And like, for example, my dad, during darts, he put on a £5 bet where if something was to happen, he would win a lot of money, and he won. And he won a bonus of like 700 quid,
Wow.
which in American terms is about £730, 730
Yeah,
quid.
they're pretty close.
Yeah, but it's like from £5, and it's like obviously I'm not going to gamble the 20 quid. It's 20 quid,
Yeah.
but you never know what could happen. But saying that, on the other side of things, could just spend it on One Piece and Magic the Gathering packs and pull absolutely nothing and feel bad about wasting the 20 quid. So I've got two options on which way I could go, and I think both of them are brilliant options.
I have to remember. I always write $20 for this question. I have to remember that there are other places other than America. Uh,
I understand that because I'm just like everyone's talking about doing these collabs, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I can't do it, and they'll go, why? Because when you're doing it, it's 4 a.m. in the morning for me, and I can't do it. And they go, oh yeah, you're from the UK. I'm like, yeah, and then they
Yeah.
make the classic British joke where they try and start speaking in the accent. and all the good stuff.
I will say that is one thing that I do know my way around is time zones. I know time. I work with people from time zones all over. I mentioned I have a friend
Yeah.
in Australia. Australia is a weird one because you got two different daylight savings times, and so
Yeah.
there's like one time where it's like 2 hours off, and it's bizarre.
I mean, the United Kingdom also has it as well. So,
Yeah.
if it's not summertime, we're in this thing called the Greenwich Mean Time, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure. But then currently we're in the British summertime, which
British
is
summertime.
an hour behind or an hour ahead. I can't actually remember exactly. That's kind of bad of me. I've been here for my whole life. You'd think I'd know by now, but I'll show you this bit of a weird one. I saw a post on Twitter about it. It's like it's so difficult trying to set up like streams with friends in America and Europe because I'm just never awake.
Yes.
So it's like
Oh,
it's
sorry.
been unfortunate, but like looking, you kind of have to go for your American audience. You kind of can't go up into other lanes. Or it's like really difficult to go to other lanes without burning yourself out, from my understanding. But I could be wrong.
It is remarkably difficult to arrange certain things because if you want the EST people, you got to go for later, and it just does not overlap with England at all.
Yeah, so it's just a bit awkward, but like that's how it be sometimes. I remember doing a collab with and it was like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, yeah, I'm awake for this.
Okay. Which board game have you played that would be most likely to cause a brawl?
I mean, the obvious answer is Monopoly, right? Because
Well, yes.
Monopoly.
Yes.
What has been a game in the past that's called trivia games?
Mm-hmm.
Especially like it's not a board game, but do you know the TV show called The Chase?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll watch The Chase sometimes when we're eating dinner at our family, and we'd always guess the questions, and like sometimes it would result in like arguments about the answer, and like even though I'll sit there and be like, I don't know the answer to this, I'm gonna be real, and then the one question I do know, I was like, yeah, it's that, and they'll go, no, it isn't, and it'll be the correct answer. It's like, how did you know that? I was like, I just do, you know.
Oh, sorry.
But any like TV show where it's like The Chase, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, them kind of TV shows, with my family especially, will always get them like going at each other's throats.
There are a few shows like that, a few trivia shows in England that whenever I watch it, it just blows my mind because I'm like, there's no way I would win any of these. You have The Chase, which is they just answer those the guy just seems to know literally everything in the world, and I'm just, how do you do that? And then
they are specifically chosen because they are smart people. Like their IQ is above like their actual IQ.
yeah.
But like, there's a part of me, because it is reality TV, and I know what reality TV can be like, where
Yeah.
they will tell the chaser what the answer is.
Hmm.
And like, I don't know if you saw with what is that game show? It's an American game show, the one where you have to guess what the word is and you spin a wheel.
Oh, that's Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if you saw the Wheel of Fortune incident where a guy spent a year or so watching every Wheel of Fortune episode to get every single question that he could remember, and he basically was about to win a ridiculous amount of money, by the way.
Yes.
But they basically kind of messed him up in air quotation marks and gave the other person the win.
Yeah.
Right? When in actuality, it's because the TV show actually messed it up on purpose, so he didn't get the question right, so he lost.
Yes.
You know?
There have been incidents like involving game shows and contestants being too good at them. There's a very famous incident that there was a game show called Press Your Luck, and there was a guy who basically spent time memorizing this pattern of flashing lights and images on the board because they went through a rotation, and so he memorized it to the point that he was able to press the button at the exact right moment every single time. And
That's sick.
Yes, and it's a fascinating story if you ever get the chance to watch it, because this guy, he wins a crap ton of money. Like it was the 1970s, I want to say, like the late 70s, and he won something like $100,000, which at that time was unheard of for a game show. And
Yeah.
then he kept all the money in his living room, and then somebody broke into his house and stole it.
No.
And it,
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
oh, it's a wild story though.
Well, speaking about that, I guess
Yes.
some Shirayuki lore. So, I actually have an above average memory.
Yep.
So, we've done these things in class before, these reaction time things. It was 6 lights, and basically, you had to hit the green light, and you just had to do it as fast as possible. And I got the fastest result in my year.
Mm-hmm.
I also got the fastest result on the actual course itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then for college, right, they made me do like a memory test for college, right? And one of the statements was you basically had to like say every letter they said in the same order. And I got the 36 letters in a row with
Wow.
saying them all in the same order. And then backwards, I got 31. And then they did it with numbers, and then they did it with like an image. They showed me an image for 2 minutes. They'd turn it around, and then they'd ask me like questions about the image, and I got all of them right. And they're like, "Oh, you have above average memory, by the way." I was like, "Yo, that's sick." So I was like, I kind of want to explore this a little bit more. So I did this like actual scientific memory test. I can't actually remember the exact name of it,
Yep.
where it will show you a couple letters for a second, and then basically a random letter will appear, and you basically got to put as fast as possible yes or no if that letter was in the letters. And I got 198 out of 200 with like a ridiculously fast clicking speed, and I was like, I might, I might have some superpowers. I might be Professor X from Marvel, from X-Men. You know, I might be Professor Xavier with my brain powers at this point. Saying that, some people know me. I'm incredibly dumb on the most simplest shit, so I can't really say much.
So I'm curious. Have you ever tried to learn a language?
Yes, it's gone poorly wrong.
It's
I've
what?
tried learning. It's gone awful, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I've tried learning Spanish, and I've tried learning uh, Italian, which is a bit awkward because I'm half Italian and I don't know much of it. And I've tried learning Japanese, right? So I don't have to watch Japanese, and I don't have to watch anime with the subtitles on, right?
Yep.
And it's failed completely. Duolingo gets mad at me. The Angry Bird starts attacking me, you know. And at that point, I'm like, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm happy with speaking English. And if I need to translate it, I'll get Google Translate. So
So so we know it. We've established you have the excellent memory, the talent for memory. If you wake up with one talent tomorrow, what would it be?
let me think. I think a lot of people say this is like I would love to be able to draw.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would love to have an art talent because other than like them, because this is technically a form of art, you know, as being an entertainer is a form of art, right? I would love to be able to draw.
Yes.
I've tried in the past to learn how to draw, and like it's just something that you need to spend a lot of time on, or you're naturally gifted with it, right? And that's something I've always wished I've been able to do. I think, other than that, I think game design would be another talent I would love to have. You know, being able to create games. There's a bit of art involved in that as well, but I've always wanted to create like a fighting game before, and I've like done research on it. I created like a Mugen. I don't know. Do you know what Mugen is?
No.
They're like these like models of fighting games where you basically insert your own characters into the fighting game and they just move around and play the fighting game. So it's like you would have like the most ridiculous combinations where you would have like Colonel Sanders fighting Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Right, and you'd have that kind of fight, right?
Is this a like an old like a is it an 80s style video game that got like modded to hell or something like that? I feel like I've heard something like that before. I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember if it's 80s, but I know there's a Twitch channel called Salty Bets. It's not actual betting. It's like fake money, right?
Yeah.
But basically, all it is a channel that runs 24/7, and they just play Mugen CPU matches where all it is just people playing, and you just choose who you think is going to win. And it's just a very interesting concept of it, where all it is just anime characters and video game characters fighting against each other. But like, I can't say all it is, because that's a big reason I wanted to get into commentating, was because I liked the idea of watching like characters characters on like Super Smash Brothers fight against each other, and I would commentate it when I was like, very young, when I was like 9, right? And so that kind of like gave me my love for doing what I'm doing now. Like that's where I started at the age of 9, even if it was so minuscule. It's something that's grown into something so grand. But yeah, definitely, my biggest one is I wish I could draw. It would be so cool. Like it would be so easy to design a lot of the stuff that I would want to design without having to worry about commissioning for others. And don't get me wrong, the commissions I've done have been incredible. I'm not saying that none of them have been bad. It's just money.
Yes.
And it can be quite pricey from time to time. And as a university student, it kind of does make it a little bit more difficult for me to get art for like a lot of stuff I want to do.
Yeah, money is an issue.
Yes.
If you could go back in time to any time and place, where would you go? Where would you go?
5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think 5 years ago. I'm not gonna go into detail about it. Oh god, my model has just decided that absolutely. I'm not gonna go into full detail about it, but like people on my Discord, my Twitch know. My like upbringing throughout secondary school wasn't the greatest, so I think 5 years ago I would go back and tell my past self that like where you're heading is not what you expect. Even if you're in this like really like down place, where you're heading is you're going to be loving who you are when you get to that place, you know. And it's something I think about quite a lot, you know, in life. It's like if I could go back and just tell myself, you've got so much you're about to do in your life, get ready for it. You know, I think it'd be a big like improvement on like how I would have been at the time. But saying that, realistically, without as sad as it sounds, without the stuff happening in my life, it wouldn't have built up into who I am today. So from that response, going back to 5 years ago to tell myself stuff would be lovely. But like, you know, I would like to ride a dinosaur from time to time. Before a meteor hits me, I would like to ride the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You know, so if we could get me back to there, that'd be awesome as well.
Nice. I wonder, how uncomfortable would it be to be in that period? It must be. It must be hot. It must be really, really hot.
It would be awful. Like imagine, right? You're just on your pterodactyl, then out of nowhere, like a stegosaurus just absolutely swats you out the sky, or you're just chilling, and then you just see a meteor heading towards you. At that point, what do? You know you're gone. Like, what are you doing at that point? Like, by any chance, you just gotta hope and pray that you survive somehow. And even if you do survive, the whole world has been turned into a volcano, like a fiery cinders. What do you expect to accomplish now? Like, it's crazy.
Okay. Do you collect anything?
Yes. I collect dice. Bit of a weird hobby.
No,
dice.
it's a very common hobby, actually.
Oh, I got new dice today. I got a dice with a little dragon's eye inside of it. Like a set of dice with dragon's eyes inside of it.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty cool. I'll send you a picture after we've done all of this. Dice, cards. You know, obviously, I'm a card game player, so it makes sense for me to collect cards. Do I collect anything else that's like very like monetary? I guess at this point I'm just collecting roguelikes because with how many I have at this point, it should just become a collection. You know, at this point. Yeah, that's really it. They're all of monetary value though. I also collect motivational speeches on Instagram. I guess that's one thing I do. I will like save them, and I've got like a massive like list compiled of like motivational messages that like I sometimes will rewatch from time to time, which some of them are incredible, by the way.
Okay.
Some of them are.
I have to ask, what is your favorite motivational speech?
Oh, I've actually got it. I can actually. So there's one done by a rapper where he's like, if it gets hot in the kitchen, remember you're the chef. You still got to serve all the plates to everybody who's eating. And even though that nobody else is going to serve a plate for you, you got to keep cooking because you're the chef, right? So it's kind
Yep.
of like you got to keep going. But my new one, so this one is a very big one. So I spoke about this week being quite a long week. This Monday, um, yeah, we could talk about this. This Monday was a very long day. I had a 5-hour conversation with a friend, which resulted in me kind of shifting all of my ideology about how I go about stuff with fighting games, content creation, card games, and just living. So this week has actually been incredible,
Wow.
you know, in terms of how I've been doing it. And even though I know for a fact eventually the high of this high will kind of fall down a little bit because you can't live your whole life on like just one high.
Of course.
I want to be able to be like this for as long as possible because even after the high, because I just feel really good about a lot of stuff in life, and I don't remember when I don't really remember when the last time this was the case, you know. But like this one quote, I'm gonna read it, and this is a quote. Everyone watching this, I want you guys to remember this. I will try to say it with the best diction in my voice so you guys can actually understand what I'm saying.
Yep.
But this is a very good quote. I have evidence that I can achieve a personal record. I can set a new personal record because on many of the days where I've tried, I have done it. Now, when I get a fast pace into a lap 3 and my hands start shaking, I feel pressure to perform. I will not doubt myself. I'm confident because I've done this before. So I can do it again. And if I fail on lap 3, no, when I fail on lap 3, simply knowing that I do have a chance to succeed is enough to get me to hit restart and try again. What I've learned from my close calls is not that I'm a failure, but that I can repeatedly set myself up for a small chance of success, and that's why I keep trying. And that one speech alone, thanks. I'll do my clapping as well. That one speech alone changed my life forever. But another speech I always had is people, every dream is beautiful, and the people who believe in their dreams will always be able to do it. And the one, I'm a very. If you come to Shirayuki's channel, you're gonna find a lot of philosophy and motivational stuff. So if you guys are into that, come to my channel. But one quote that was always like something that I always kept saying was, I actually have it on my door in my room. It's like on a metal sign, and it just says, "Life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important, capture the good times, develop from the negative, and if things don't turn out right, just take another shot." And that's something I wake up to every single day, and that has been a big reason for why I've been able to get to where I am today, I think.
If you don't mind me asking, because I'm thinking of my favorite speech. It's called "This Is Water" by David Foster Wallace. Have you ever heard that one?
I have not. Please indulge me in the favorite speech.
Oh, well, I can't go over everything, but basically it starts with him giving it. David Foster Wallace is a writer. He focused on a lot of philosophical subjects. He wrote a book called Infinite Jest, which I haven't read, but I probably should, honestly. And he gives a speech to these people who are graduating, and he starts off with this little parable about there are a couple fish swimming in the water when all of a sudden they come upon the big old fish, and the big old fish says, "How's the water today, boys?" And they go, "Okay," and they kind of pass and they don't say anything, and then one of them turns to the other and says, "What the hell is water?"
Yeah.
And and he basically bases the entire speech off of that entire premise, and it's really fascinating. And as you're someone who's coming to the end of your college experience, I think that you would really appreciate it a lot, because it's one of those things that kind of it's one of those speeches that I think is life changing, in my opinion.
Could you send it to me after?
I absolutely will. I think that everyone should watch this speech because it's, frankly speaking, it's freaking incredible.
But saying that, once again, going back to a film that like has incredible speeches is Treasure Planet. Again, you know, there's 2 speeches in Treasure Planet, which are just incredible speeches. It was a scene where like something bad happened, and the main character, kept saying it was his fault and such. and then the other character who was kind of like acting like a father figure to him was like telling him like loads of stuff, and being like, you've got the makings of something great for you, and you're gonna be doing so much good stuff. And when you're the brightest star that you can be, I hope that I get to see you shining in the like the widest parts of the cosmos. And it's like something like that, but it's like it's just so good. Treasure Planet. If you've not
Yes.
watched it, please watch it.
I'm gonna rewatch
I'm
it.
telling you.
Okay, and this is my final question for the interview. What smell reminds you of home?
Pasta sauce.
Mm-hmm.
My mum. That my favorite meal. My favorite food I've ever had is pasta, and it's because my mum just makes. I really love my mum's food. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not just saying this just for a bit. I just pasta sauce. I remember you always smell it, and it just smells so good. You know, and I never really was a pasta sauce person for a long time. I've only recently, and like I remember it was so stupid, right? Well, actually, it wasn't stupid, but it was like something that I just remembered. I remember one time it was the first time I had pasta sauce in probably like, oh, we're talking like long, like probably 10, 15 years. So, uh, quite a while, and I remember I ate it and I just started crying, right?
Wow.
And I was like, my mum looked at me, and was like, "Is everything all right?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's just really good," you know. And it's just like, in my head, I was like, "Damn!" For the last 10 years, I've just not been able to have this food,
Yeah.
and I've just completely forgotten about it, you know. And it was like, pasta sauce is something that definitely reminds me of home. And like when some of my roommates make pasta, right, I can smell it from when they're making it, and I'm like, I'm happy that I get to go home soon from university, because you know I always miss my family. You know, I'm a big family person, and like being able to like remember these moments makes me very excited for the fact that I get to go back home and see my family soon. And it's not because I didn't enjoy my experience there. I loved it. It's because you know my family's been there the whole time, even in my career. You know, they support me. Sorry, they support me a lot on with Shirayuki. You know, my mum will sometimes watch my stream. You know, and it's like I appreciate it. And she'll always message me going, "Can you see me on the stream?" Because I've got the mod viewer open so I can see all the names, right? And I'll see her and I'll go, "Yeah, mum, I can see you." But like, yeah, my mum means the absolute like all my family does, but like my mum especially, she means the like absolute world for me. So like the smell of pasta sauce definitely reminds me of home for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have for today. Man, this has been an excellent interview. I've really enjoyed talking to you a lot.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it as well. You know, for my first time, you know, any VTubers out there who are like maybe like trying to get into the scene, I just do this interview. I'm not just saying this because we're on this channel. I'm genuinely telling you, you don't realize like how important these interviews could be. You know, for your life. One moment that could change your life entirely could result in uh, greatness for being a content creator. So you guys, if you haven't done an interview with this guy, you've got to get on it. You know.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And if you're watching right now, I'm gonna have links to all of Shira's various socials in the description. So be sure to check him out. I'll also be posting the links in the side chat. Absolutely a pleasure. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I was your host, Jack Jinseki, and joining me today was Shirayuki. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.